So it's late in the day on Easter Sunday as I'm recording this. And, days like today are good reminders of what complete and utter frauds and hypocrites MAGA Republicans are. Because what this day is about, whether you believe in the divinity of Jesus Christ or not, whether you believe in God or not, doesn't matter. MAGA Republicans claim that they believe in those things. That's the point. And what they claim they stand for is the exact opposite of everything that they actually support and defend in Donald Trump. The exact opposite. They celebrate cruelty. They celebrate hate. Everything about them, everything that they do, maybe not in their personal lives, because I understand the disconnect between the personal lives that many of these people live and the things that they support in their politics. I mean, you probably know people in your personal life who are MAGA Republicans. They love them some Donald Trump. But they may be kind people, at least as so far as you know. In public, they may seem like really nice people. They might, coach Little League and you see maybe they're your neighbors. Maybe they are your family. People that you've known your whole life who support this. And so I understand the disconnect here. And that's part of the problem, part of the thing that many of us have grappled with in recent years with people that we may know personally, but who we always thought are good people, and we try to reconcile. How is the person that I know or that I see or that I'm related to, maybe it's a parent or a grandparent or a brother or sister or aunt or uncle or, God forbid, your spouse. But, we have these people and we know these people in our lives. And it's hard to reconcile the one aspect of these people, which may be kind and respectful and seemingly intelligent, but yet they support one of the worst human beings on the face of the earth. They support his lies. They perpetuate his lies. They defend every damn thing that he does. They claim to, stand for the rule of law and support the police. Yet they defend and support a literal criminal, a literal convicted felon who summoned a violent mob to attack the Capitol and to beat police officers nearly to death. They support all that. And now with the things that are going on, we've been talking now for quite a while here about the case of Abrego Garcia. It's just a man who's not been charged with a crime, was just kidnapped, and he's not the only one. There are others. It's just that his case has been so front and center, but there are others. Not even accused of committing a crime. There is no charge. There is no indictment. He was kidnapped. There was no warrant for his arrest. He was kidnapped and sent to essentially a concentration camp indefinitely in El Salvador. Not for a fixed period of time to serve some sentence, but I guess for the rest of his life. To die in that prison. Why? He was a legal resident of this country. And even if he was here illegally, that's not supposed to be a death sentence. If they're here illegally and not supposed to be here, then let them have their immigration hearing before an immigration judge and get them deported and send them back to their country of origin. We don't sentence them to death in a concentration camp. But that's what's happening in that case and many others. And these people who today, many of whom went to church, you know, they wear their religion on their sleeve, phony Christians that they are, because it's phony. They don't walk the talk. They don't live the word. You know, it's completely fraudulent. They're the exact opposite of all that they pretend to be. Yeah, they claim to be, and take it out of religion for a minute, they claim to be conservatives and support the Constitution. Give me a break. There's nothing conservative about them in the traditional sense. You know, I read you a couple days ago that fantastic opinion from that 3-judge panel of the Fourth Circuit Court of Appeals, smacking down Donald Trump. And that fantastic opinion, in the beautiful way and powerful way in which it was written by Judge Harvey Wilkinson, a man appointed to the bench by President Ronald Reagan. And he embodies the judicial philosophy of what had been conservatism. Now, disagree with that all you want. It's not the point here. Conservatism, and whether or not you agree with it or not, it's not the point. The point is, they claim to be adherents to that, to conservatism. Nothing about today's Republican Party is conservative. You know, it's good and healthy to have two serious political parties to keep each of them in check. And not each party is right about everything. Not each party is wrong about everything. When you have two sane and healthy parties, but that's not what we have here. We do not have a sane and healthy Republican Party, and we don't have a conservative party. This is a fascist personality cult. And so today, Easter Sunday, they're all out there pretending to be Christians, yet every day they support a man who is the exact opposite of everything they claim to be as Christians. And so there's Abrego Garcia. Here's another article another case, a 19-year-old named Jose Hermosillo, who was picked up in Arizona illegally by Border Patrol. What was Jose's crime? He was held for 10 days. He's an American citizen. What was his crime? Well, you can guess from the name. Jose Hermosillo. He's a brown man. He's of Hispanic origin, Hispanic background, ethnicity, that's the word. That was his crime. That's essentially a crime in Trump's America with these people who pretend to be Christians. And that American citizen, and he didn't have his immigration papers, right? Let me just read a little bit of this. 19-year-old Jose Hermosillo who is visiting Tucson from Albuquerque, says he was lost and walking near Border Patrol headquarters when an agent arrested him for illegally entering the country. Hermosillo was not carrying identification. Court documents say a Border Patrol agent arrested him at or near Nogales, Arizona, without proper immigration documents. Why the hell should he have immigration documents? He's an American citizen. I don't have immigration documents. And in court documents the agent said that Hermosillo admitted to illegally entering the U.S. which is a lie. He never said that. He never did illegally enter the U.S. He's an American citizen. This case was eventually dismissed. He eventually, his family was able to provide his birth certificate and social security card. They proved that he's an American citizen who was walking, got himself a little lost. They arrested him for being brown. I go walking all the time in these woods. I never carry identification with me. But maybe, you know, I have the benefit of not being a brown person, not having an Hispanic surname. I guess don't tell me there's no such thing as white privilege in this country anymore. This man was arrested and detained for 10 days just for being brown and being Hispanic. And I guarantee you, there's not a single MAGA Republican out there anywhere gonna denounce this. They certainly don't denounce what happened to and continues to be happening to Abrego Garcia. And this is not to even defend him. I don't know the guy. All I know is that he was kidnapped illegally, wasn't given any due process. And maybe if he were to be brought back here and have an immigration hearing, maybe he would end up being deported after all of it. And if that's what the law says should happen in his case after due process of law, then fine. He's been given no due process of law. But he certainly, no matter what, shouldn't end up in a prison camp to die. Anyways, these are the self-proclaimed Christians that make up the MAGA Republican Party, who revel in inflicting pain on other people. They love to see other people suffer. Donald Trump loves it. I read a message that Donald Trump posted today on Truth Social in my previous video. It's short and sweet. Made fun of him. His Easter message on Truth Social. No mention of Jesus. Just attacks on people. All kinds of people. Called President Biden a moron. All of this stuff. And at the end, you know, Happy Easter. That was his Easter message. This man is sick. You know, I was thinking about it. I'll wrap it up with this. How one man has so completely changed this country and the people of this country. So many of the people of this country. And I know I hear it all the time. Oh, they were always like this. No, I don't buy that. A lot of them were, don't get me wrong. I think what it was is a lot of them were always susceptible to this. And maybe they're fundamentally bad people, but I don't know. I think that he has changed a lot of people. I think this tribal partisanship as it exists. I mean, tribal partisanship exists on both sides, but none of us ever in our lives, and it's never happened in American history, where tribal and partisanship has turned to this degree into a cult of personality. These people literally believe in nothing. They don't believe in the religion they claim to. They don't believe in the political ideology they claim to. They don't believe in any of the policies they claim to, because there's not a single thing that they could tell you that they believe today that they won't take the exact opposite position tomorrow if Donald Trump does. Every single thing that they're saying that they believe right now, if tomorrow Donald Trump put out a Truth Social post saying the exact opposite, they would all abandon what they're saying today to take that new position tomorrow. These people believe in nothing, absolutely nothing, except hate. I don't know how much of that hate existed before or how much Donald Trump created it. It doesn't, I guess, much matter. But it is what it is, and it is a hate, a movement based on hate. in service of a man who is one of the most hateful human beings, one of the most disgusting, despicable examples of humanity that ever has existed. He truly is one of the worst human beings in history. And I don't think that's hyperbole at all. He's truly, and maybe much of it is owing to, mental defects, because he clearly suffers from a very diseased mind. He's obviously a sociopath, but, other people who are far more qualified to talk about what may be wrong with this man mentally have done so. So I won't go there, but he's clearly a very sick and disturbed, mentally disturbed person. I don't know how much of it is owing to that, or how much of it is just a terrible person. Nature, nurture, mental defect. I don't know exactly what explains this man. All I know is he is a horrible human being, and the damage that he has done to this society and that he's doing to this country. And we're surrounded by tens of millions of people who look at this horrible human being and they think he's just the greatest person on the face of the earth. How do we relate to people like that? Don't know that you can, until they snap out of being in a cult. And people who have escaped cults, the brainwashing of cults, they've said, there's nothing you could have said to me to change my mind. They had to come to it on their own in some way. And that's where we're at with millions of people, many of whom probably you know personally, maybe your family and friends, although I don't know how the hell you can be friends with any of these people at this point in time. But I think that's where they're at. You cannot reach them. There is nothing you can say to them. They're too far gone. Maybe nothing could ever snap them out of it, but to the extent that they maybe one day will, they're going to have to come to it on their own somehow. Anyway, I hope you all had a wonderful day, wonderful Easter if you celebrate that. And whether you do or not, I hope you had a wonderful day anyway. And I thank you so much for watching. I hope you'll subscribe if you haven't done so already. And I'll talk to you again soon.